Hey, what's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? This is Chris, and this is Barn on 11970. Thank you, as always, for taking the time to check this out. This is another one of those live shows that I just decided to do spur of the moment. So if you're just starting to watch this, I appreciate it. Before I get into my little thing that happened today, and it's a good thing that I want to share. It's awesome, like the title says, awesome but yet weird. First thing I want to say is I cannot believe I'm just a few subscribers short of 24,000. That just blows me away. So to everybody that's subscribed, I want to thank you so much for being a part of this. Um, it just means a lot to me. So hopefully you'll enjoy what I want to share with you guys and gals out there in the YouTube world. And it's another dream I had. Now, the ironic part is I don't remember a bit of the dream, but it's the feeling that I had and what I basically said when I woke up. Because I've noticed recently, the more I started seeing dreams for potential, maybe something different than what they are. I mean, who knows? I mean, dreams could be just something that you are supposed to have a message to analyze. I don't know what it is, so I can't say. Which to me is fine because it's if you can find something out of your dream, it serves a purpose. So to me, that's a beautiful thing. But if you've ever seen that TV show, I think it's called Sliders or something like that, where you go from one person to another. I had this dream. And again, I don't remember what the dream was because I got woken up suddenly. My cats made a noise earlier this morning, and I just woke up and I totally forgot instantly what the dream was, even though I was having this intense feeling. And the feeling I kind of described is it's almost like I think it was Sliders is the TV show, where it's almost like the perception I got, the feeling I got from the dream was that when I closed my eyes, it was almost like I was somewhere else or someone else. Now, again, this is just a dream. I'm not saying this is reality and this is what it is, but the intense feeling is what I remember. I literally felt like I was somewhere else. Now, before I started thinking a little bit deeper into my dreams, you could see some of my recent videos. I've shared these with people is all this before that, my dreams would just be sporadic. Like I would have a dream where I'm doing certain thing here, then all of a sudden I'm just doing something else. It would always not make sense. And now my dreams are becoming very linear. Like they all serve a purpose and they're all going in one direction and they all mean something. And I get this overall feeling that is so strong. It's almost like I'm all of a sudden living another life. And I remember when I woke up this morning, because like I said, my cats made a noise. It just instantly woke me up. And I totally instantly forgot what the dream was, but I didn't lose the feeling. And the sensation I felt was I didn't want to open my eyes again. I almost felt like I was now, when my eyes were closed in this dream, it wasn't just a dream where my brain is just sending pictures, that I felt like I was somewhere else and I didn't want to leave it. Like I felt like that's where I was supposed to be. Now, again, I don't remember what I was dreaming. I remember it was something about having a conversation with somebody, but it felt so real. And I had this feeling of, I don't want to wake up. And when I was forced to wake up, because all of a sudden the noise was made with my cats, the first thing that popped in my head was, what if this is what it feels like when you die? That you don't ever really die. Now, again, I'm not saying this is reality. I'm saying this is the dream I had. So if you're just tuning in right now, you may not understand what I'm saying. You may want to watch the whole thing. But the feeling I got was when you die, what if when you close your eyes, you end up somewhere else and just continuing on from there? It was just such a weird feeling that literally I did not want to wake up from that dream. Because whatever I was dreaming was so intense, I felt like I was somewhere else or someone else, to the point where wherever it was I was, and whatever strong feelings I was feeling, there was this emotional attachment to this dream I was having, even though I didn't remember what it was, that the feeling was I didn't want to wake up. So what if it's like that? And again, this is just hypothetical, but just imagine if when you close your eyes for the last time, what if you are just somewhere else and you just continue on wherever you're supposed to go and you literally just never wake up? but you're not consciously erased from existence. Now, again, this is a dream, so I don't know if it means anything. Maybe I'm just reading in too much into it, but the feeling I got was so strong. And it's just weird because when I woke up, like I said, the first response I felt was, what if that's like, what if this is what it's like to die, where you just close your eyes one time and you just, whatever you're quote unquote dreaming, wherever you end up, if it's an illusion or part of reality, quote unquote, and whatever, wherever you are, you like it so much, you just don't want to wake up from where you are. It was just an amazing feeling for me. And it also made me feel comfortable in the way that what if death is never an ending? Because what I find funny, ironically speaking, is so many people believe that when you quote unquote die, there are lots of people that believe you just cease to exist. You turn into nothing. Now, my question for those people would be, if that is true, if you literally, when the last time you take your last breath and the last time you close your eyes, if you just become nothing, then my question for those people is, where did you come from? How could you, because before the sperm and the egg fertilized to create you, you didn't exist. So how did the emotional part of you come into being? It had to come from somewhere. So how could we go to nothing if we came from nothing? That means there has to be a continuation, doesn't there? Which makes it not seem scary. It almost seems peaceful. And it's quite ironic because I had an interesting situation that happened over on my other channel again. And normally that stuff would bother me, or I'd do a response to silly accusations from people, and I don't really care. It's funny that when you can actually think deeper in yourself and just stop worrying about other people's little nitpicks and crazy things in the world and their opinions and their hatred or fears or worries or concerns or forcing their opinions on yourself, when we look and focus into ourselves, we see and feel a lot more. Now, this dream was probably one of the best dreams I've had in recent times, and I don't remember a darn thing about it other than the feeling I experienced. And it was strong. And again, like I said, I had this attachment to this dream where I didn't want to wake up. And I had to literally be scared up with my cats doing whatever they did. They dropped something. It just literally scared me out of the sleep I was in. And it was just funny. The feeling that I got was just the first thing that came to my head is, what if this is what it's like to die, to quote unquote die? Now, I am not going to sit here and say I know what happens when we pass on, but I do have to believe that something has to happen. I mean, we are electrical beings. I mean, our whole brain system, our nervous system, everything works on a circuitry. And you cannot destroy light. I mean, you could turn it into a different type of atom, I believe. I'm not sure. But it can't be destroyed. So it has to go somewhere. Now, if you lose an arm, you're still you. If you lose both arms and both legs, you're still you. So there has to be more to who you are than just your body parts. I mean, if you think about it, every time you put your hand through your hair, or every time you breathe, there's parts of you that are separating itself from you all the time. I mean, just if you have hair on your head, run your hands through your hair and watch the little microscopic, well, it's hard to see the microscopic ones, but there's little dust particles from your skin. Just rub your skin and you'll see it. So parts of you are always leaving you, but you're always still you. So there has to be something else deeper inside the whole quote unquote soul. And I think the more quote unquote civilized we become with all this technology, we're getting further and further away from what nature intended us to be. And we're so afraid to look into ourselves, and there's so much anger and hatred. And we take it out on people that are our fellow brothers and sisters. And maybe it's because we can't figure out what it is that's going on in our lives, why we feel the way we do. Now, there are some people that come here because they enjoy what I bring to the table as far as my own ideas. There are some people that come here for other reasons. So my videos are addressed to the people that are here because they resonate with what I say. Now, that doesn't make them better, it just makes them different. And different, in my opinion, is supposed to be a beautiful thing. And if you notice, the trends in this world these days is being different seems to be like frowned upon now. Like they don't want individuals. They don't want people to express themselves on a level that is just free thought, just being yourself. Somebody, Spartan Gaming, says, I think you're talking about the show Scrubs. No, I know that show Scrubs. I used to love watching that show. That show has a good meaning, a deep meaning for me. I love that show. But no, there was a show earlier back in the 80s where a person would go from one body to another. I think it was called Sliders. And there's lots of shows like that, like all of a sudden you're taking over somebody's body in a way. But if you think about it, I mean, if you're talking on a phone, you're sending a signal, an energy source, onto another phone. It's not magic. It's not voodoo. It's not crazy. It's just what it is. I mean, if you're watching this on a cell phone or a laptop and it's a wireless computer, I mean, it's not magic that's bringing it through. It's just electricity. It cannot be contained. I mean, that's why sunlight goes through glass. And whether we want to believe it or not, I mean, we are made of light particles. We're made of atoms. But there's more to us than that because we feel, whether that's anger or fear or jealousy or love or whatever. We have a feeling system that is very different to most creatures on this planet, if you think about it. I mean, how many other species on this planet have compassion, have envy, have jealousy, have hatred? Now, you might have species killing each other, and they might be doing it for survival purposes or for food, but they don't do it out of revenge, or they don't do it just because they don't like what a person or other creature is saying. So we are special, and every person is special. And it's so funny that when I have quote-unquote bad situations come my way, I learn more and more from it, and the less it really matters. Like, a little drama thing happened before, and I had nothing to really do with it. It's funny that it comes my way, but the lesson I learned from this was usually I'll make some response video and try and defend myself or anything like that. Now it's like, you know what? For a second I was blown away by what happened, but then I'm like, I don't really care because there's more important things to life. I mean, my wife is trying so hard to show me how much support she gives me. That matters to me more than anything some stranger has to say that's negative. The friends that care enough to show support, even when it's times I don't think I need it, is amazing. And I think there are so many amazing people out there that have so much to share and so much to offer. And I think so many people are so afraid of it for fear of judgment, fear of being themselves now, that they're afraid to express what they really feel and what they really are and what they want to be or who they want to associate or what they want to believe in. Somebody could watch the beginning of this and talk about With My Dream and say, oh, that's just crazy, and oh, he's going over the deep end, or he's just reading into it. And those things, who knows, they can be potentially true. From their perspective, who knows? I mean, I would like to consider myself a rational person, even though situations can happen. I mean, that is life. It'd be pretty boring if everything was mundane and routine. God, I hate that, wouldn't you? And just imagine if all you did was go to work, You did your job, you came home, you ate your dinner, you watched a little TV, you went to bed, and repeated that process for the rest of your life. To me, that would be hell. So even with some of the bad things that happen, I mean, like they say, when the world hands you lemons, make lemonade. In other words, what they're saying is, if something, what you think is bad or mundane or boring, turn it into something better. But it always boils down to choice. And I even thought about this a little bit further, and I wanted to make a separate video about this, but I might as well just say it while I'm here, because I appreciate the people taking the time to want to listen to this. Is the other week, I made a video about the glass is half empty, or the glass is half full, depending on which way you want to look at it. And I was saying it's both. Well, then I started thinking about it on an even deeper level. We're actually conditioned to only notice, let's say the glass is filled halfway with water. So they want you to focus on either one of two possibilities. Either it's half full or half empty. So in other words, they're making us focus on the part that we can see. Now, if you think about it, the question isn't, is the glass, how much water does the glass contain? The question is usually, is it half full or half empty? Well, the real answer would that be, it's completely full. Because yes, it's halfway filled with water, but the part that looks empty is just particles you can't see. There's dust particles, there's oxygen, there's atoms, who knows what else? But yet it fills the entire cup. And yet we're conditioned to focus on one or two parts of an unlimited equation, of the parts that we only can see. In other words, base things on what you see, because the things that you don't, we want you to pretend are not there. I mean, just look around you wherever you are. All of that air around you is filled with an infinite amount of particles of energy that you cannot see. But does that mean it's not there? And yet we kind of maybe take it for granted or take advantage of it, but we're never told about it. We're not supposed to focus on that. I mean, they still teach simple science that when you look up in outer space, all of that black sky above you is empty. But yet, if you look at space under specialized telescopes, you can actually see, especially I believe under ultraviolet, you could see everything is connected, just like how your brain is. There's a circuitry, but it's like a wireless circuit board. I mean, if somebody talked about that 100 years ago, yeah, they would have said it was probably crazy. But now, I mean, if you're using a wireless phone to watch this, or a wireless laptop, well, it's not magic that brings my voice and the image you see on the screen to your computer. It's just electricity. And that's why we have a spinal cord. That's why we have nerve endings. That's why we're made mostly of water and metals, because they are conductors of electricity. We are electric beings. To quote Empire Strikes Back, luminous beings are we, not this crude material. I mean, it's like a copper wire. You have to cover it with a material to keep the energy condensed in a certain area. Well, maybe that's why we have skin around our body. It's to keep the energy contained. And the weirdest part is there will be people that listen to this and think this sounds crazy, when it's nothing more than what is. You don't have to believe in the air around you for it to be there. And it's funny, I thought, and this is always funny with my videos, I always think, oh, I'll just do a 3-minute little video and that'll be it. And I was just going to share about the experience of my dream and how amazing it is. I never really had that many nightmares, but I never kind of looked forward to my dreams. But recently, when the more I started thinking about maybe there's something more to them than just random pictures, that now I look forward to going to sleep. And it's almost like, well, what adventure is it going to take me on now? Where is it going to take me? Now, does it literally take you somewhere? I can't answer that question. It would be amazing if it did, because if you think about it, energy cannot really be contained. It could be directed, can't really be contained. And since we're made mostly of electrical images, I mean, our thoughts, our feelings, our words, our sounds, the only reason you understand what I'm saying is the vibrational energy coming out of my voice is creating a tone that goes into your ear canal, that starts vibrating and registers as sound, and somehow your brain, which is a supercomputer, manages to decipher it into a language that you can understand. But it's nothing more than energy vibrating. But you can't see that part. So out of sight, out of mind. So there are so many people on this channel, and again, to have almost 24,000 people is just incredible to me. And I'm sorry I don't make as many videos as I used to. I think it's just with the other things in my life, having the other channel, because it does at times make me happy, even when silly things happen. I understand how things happen for a reason, and if I can learn from any experience, even a bad one, then it serves a purpose. And whatever happened on the other situation, it inspired me to do this. And if only one person listening to this, whenever they listen to it, says, wow, I resonate with this, and wow, that makes me think differently, and you know what, I believe more in myself, or look into things differently, and something positive comes out of it, then I'm damn glad that the negative things or silly things or interesting things or whatever things happen that gave me the inspiration to want to do this. So if you've had a bad day or a bad situation, instead of taking that anger out on someone else and making somebody else feel bad so it makes you feel better, why not try something positive with that energy? Try and build something, construct something, paint something, talk to someone, open a door for someone. It's very easy to resonate your negativity towards someone else and say, here, I don't want this. You have it. Because that's what you're doing when you are creating a hateful or angry or hurtful thing to somebody else. You're saying, here, take my negativity. I don't want it. And on the other end of it, you don't have to accept it. Or you can utilize it and turn it into something great. In other words, make that lemonade out of the lemon somebody tried to force down your throat. It all boils down to choice. And that's why I titled this Awesome But Yet Weird, because the dream that I had, and again, I can't remember the contents. I wish I could, because the feeling was so intense wherever I was in that dream, whether it was just an image in my brain or it was an image from somewhere else. It was such a strong feeling to the point where I didn't want to wake up. And when I did, I almost wanted to go back to sleep again. It's very interesting. And I see so many people struggling in life emotionally, and how hard it is because people are so quick to hurt others and judge others and make assumptions and focus on negativity. And people I see get bullied and hurt and abused because they're different. If you are different, I applaud you. As long as you're not hurting someone else, be proud of who you are. Because let me tell you something. If you are a person that cares so much that what other people say about you hurts you, then congratulations, you have feelings. You have empathy. You have sympathy. That's amazing qualities to have that some people choose to ignore. So if you've been bullied because you are different, don't see that as a weakness on your part. See that as a weakness on the people that needed to gang up on you, because it took all of them to attack one of you. Who has the real power? If we choose to give it to them, then they do. And that's why the quote-unquote drama situations seem to just come to me whether I want them or not. I could be minding my own business doing a live show, and somebody that I thought was a friend could actually attack me for no reason. But if I choose to allow it to fester, then I've said, you want to give me your bad day? Because I knew it was coming. This person was a volcano. I even said it before anything happened. It's like, you look like something's wrong with you. Is everything okay? And he had a look on his face that said he wanted to start a fight. And that's what he did. Now, it could be easy for me to accept that and let it ruin my day. That I chose instead give myself a few minutes and then come on this channel and talk about this, and maybe it's going to help somebody. I hope it does. I hope somebody that's been made fun of all their life all of a sudden sees themselves as, wait a minute, I am a beautiful person. I'm original. I mean, think about it with, like, because my other channel is about comic books. Just imagine if you had the same comic book everybody else had. There are millions of them, and there's nothing special about it. Woohoo. And no one's going to want it. No one's going to buy it. They all have it. Now, just imagine if you had a book that no one else had. It might have been different, but it's special. That's you. You're special. And if you've been picked on because a bunch of people, it took a bunch of people's negative energy just to match up with your positivity, you can choose to not let it affect you. And that's a beautiful thing, because it does boil down to choice. And if you've cried because somebody's hurt you, well, congratulations again. You have empathy. You have sympathy. You care. That's a trait that some will never experience. And it eats them up inside. And instead of learning how to get that feeling because they view it as weakness, they would rather take the time to hurt others, which doesn't take much of an effort. It doesn't take any power or skill. So be proud of who you are. And it's just so funny that my videos, I mean, I originally wanted to just talk about a dream of mine and where I think it might, what it might mean. And now I'm going into this, that my videos, I mean, they go everywhere, but people seem to enjoy it. And I look forward to the comments. I don't respond to them as much as I used to, but I do read the comments, and I do care enough and appreciate those who want to listen. So to all of you out there that took the time to listen for whatever reasons, I hope you decide to embrace your individuality. I hope you choose to expand on what the world really is. Because if you think it's what's in front of you and that's all life is, you're missing out on a lot. So listen to your heart. Trust your feelings. Don't worry about what other people's opinions of you are, because that's all they are. If I called you a negative thing, it only means something if you allow it. And it also means that if somebody else tries to do that to you, you don't have to accept it. You can turn it away. I'm rubber, you're glue. Remember those things? Let it bounce off of you. So if you want to leave a comment, if you want to be inspired to make your own video, if this helped you to feel better, I'm very happy. Because then that means another weird situation that came out of nowhere that I would have normally had to feel the right to have to defend myself, I turned it into something good. At least I hope so. And even if not, it helps me. That's a beautiful thing. And I hope those of you out there that are the ones that care and are the ones trying to change the world, you will. But you won't if you give up. You won't if you allow those negative people, those doubters, the ones that tell you, oh, you can't do it. Well, why can't you? Because somebody else said it? Or a bunch of people said it? Or what if everybody said it? Does that make every one of them right? Doesn't matter. It's what you believe. You want to change the world? Then you find whatever way to do it, and you do whatever part you have, because if you change one person's world, then you've changed the world. If you want to do good, do good. It doesn't have to be on a grand scale, because if you save the life of one person, if one person tomorrow was so sad they wanted to kill themselves, and your kind gesture or your kind words or your kind gift or your just acknowledging them as a human being made them rethink it, then guess what? You changed the world. So you can do that. And that is what's amazing. And yet there will be people that call it weird. They will call it crazy. Those are the people that maybe do not or will not ever feel that empathy, that caring without judgment, without viewing something from only one perspective instead of all perspectives. I used to think the life was all about a light switch. Either it was off or on. Now I realize that in an infinite universe with infinite possibilities, you can go infinite directions, even if you convince yourself there's only one direction. It's whatever you want it to be. So I want to thank people for taking the time to listen to this video. My videos are probably different than what most people's are. I am not some expert. I'm not some psychiatrist. I'm not some psychologist. I'm just a regular person that just speaks from the heart. Some will resonate with it. Some will dismiss it. Many will never hear it. For those who took the time to listen, and for those it resonates with, I'm glad I can do my small part to help change the world. And to me, that means that there is a purpose. And never think you have no purpose. Because in an infinite universe, you have to be part of it for infinity to exist. For there to be an infinite universe, if you believe that there is an infinite universe, then you are a crucial part of it. Because if you did not exist, then there would not be an infinite universe, because a part of it would be missing. And what good is a puzzle if you don't have all the pieces? So don't ever doubt, even if you're feeling pain, even if for some reason today you felt pain and all of a sudden you just happen to find this video and you think it's a coincidence, that's fine, but if it helps change you, that's good. But don't doubt for a second that you found your way here for a purpose. You're listening to this for a reason. And if you're staying, it obviously resonates with you. And if that inspires you, then you could see, I'm changing the world. Not the way that some of the heroes in our lifetime have, but that doesn't mean it's not significant, because if somebody was going to hurt themselves or maybe do something bad to somebody, and hearing my words changed their thought pattern or made them feel better, and they changed their mind, well, that's one less bad thing happening in the world, isn't there? Isn't that changing the world? So go change the world. And don't think you have to be one of those people where 50 million people are applauding and shouting out and screaming out your name. That's vanity. If you help one person across the street, you made somebody's day. What if they would have been run over if you didn't do it? You never know. The littlest things you don't know the impact of what you do, good and bad. So like the song says, be good for goodness sake. Maybe because it's just a better way to be. Not always easy. Plenty of times people will challenge you and make you question things. But ultimately, in the end, you make the final decision. You make the final choice. Do you choose to be sad? Do you choose to be angry? Do you choose to be hateful? Or do you choose to be loving and caring and kind? Because in the end, when it's your time to go, wherever you go, if you disappear and you no longer exist, which I doubt, because again, if you don't exist, you're not part of an infinite universe, so how could you ever disappear? In an infinite universe, you just transform. At least that's my belief, my opinion. Doesn't mean it's right, and it may not be right for you, but that doesn't mean because I believe that it's wrong. If you want to believe it's wrong, that's fine. But in an infinite universe, you're here for a reason. And I'm so tired of caring about people that think that's crazy, when they don't want to contribute anything positive and do nothing but hate and judge ridicule, and attack. Those are the drama queens. And I hope they change their lives. People make their own beds. Sometimes you gotta lie in them. But don't be upset if the bed you made is not very comfortable. Because the energy you give, with the world being full of energy, which is light, and magnetism, which is attraction, you will always get what you give. You may not always get it right away, and you may not even understand it happening when it does. But trust me on this one. And a lot of times what you get is the very questions you ask, whether it's to a god or it's to whatever. Maybe it's just to yourself. Why is this always happening to me? Well, be careful what you ask for, or you may get it. And sometimes it's in the form of a puzzle that you need to solve. But when you solve it, it serves a purpose. So thanks for taking the time to listen to what I have to say. Like I said, my videos are extremely different than most others. That just makes me different, makes me who I am. To make me the best thing in the world, if that's for my wife to decide and she says yes, it's fine with me. If other people watching agree with it, it's fine with me. It's a beautiful thing. So thank you, Spartan Gaming, for taking the time to leave a quick little question. Now I want to go watch Scrubs because that's such a great show. I always loved that show. All the seasons except for the last season. That one was just kind of silly. But leave your comments. This is the first video. Hit the subscribe button and check out a couple of videos that I have. And I'll make a video soon. I hope you have all a wonderful night, and just embrace the goodness, even when sometimes you don't feel it, because it's there. An infinite world that never disappears. Just sometimes hides, waiting for you to find it. It's time to play a little peekaboo. Peace out, everybody.